Right, guys. I hope you can hear me all right. The microphone. Welcome to whoever has joined. You're literally the first person that's ever seen one of these live streams, the TUBETASTIC FACTS live stream. Yeah. Just going to wait for a couple more people. We're going to do some facts in a minute. Hi, guys, everyone that's joining. All right, so I'm going to start with some facts. Hello, Supratik. Hello, Supratik. All right, so we're going to start with some facts. So fact number one we've got for today. Okay, so obviously many of you will know this. The number 4 is the only number with the same number of letters as the meaning of its name. So the number 4 is the only number with the same number of letters. So that's quite a bit of an interesting one. Just before we get started, guys, I don't suppose you could do me a big favor, but could you share this to your social media, share it to Facebook or something like that. Just see if we can get a few more people. I want to try and get at least 100 people onto this. I know it's a big ask, but it is possible to do. So let's see if we can just share this for me, guys. Supratik, if you could, that would be a massive favor. Big favor for me, my friend. Want to try and get a few more of these going every other night, just so we can sort of talk together and get some more facts out there. So we've got another fact now, which is that the corpse flower was the official flower of the Bronx for 60 years. I don't know if you can see this. That's a corpse flower. Quite bizarre. Yeah, we've got, right. Okay. Now, we've got another fact here. Venetia Burney, who at age 11 suggested the name Pluto for the 9th planet in our solar system, lived to see it demoted to a dwarf planet in 2006. So the name Pluto was demoted to a dwarf planet, obviously due to its size, back in 2006, which is quite bizarre. So it obviously is. It is the smallest and furthest planet in our solar system away from us. And actually, speaking of planets, I was looking out in the sky last night. Actually, I managed to take a picture on my phone of the sky, and there was a really, really, really bright star. It was flashing, like pulsing, really, really bright. Like it's like how can I explain it? Like a blue, white, sort of flashing, pulsing light, and it was just sort of going brighter and brighter. And thank you, Supratik. That would be a big help for me, my friend, if you can share this to a couple of groups, maybe, or to your Facebook. That would be a big help. And yeah, you know, I'd maybe one day, you know, we can sort of, if you want to help with some facts, you're more than welcome to. If I can find a way of getting you on it. But anyway, so I was taking a picture of the this particular planet. It looked like a planet. My friend zoomed in, and it was pulsing really, really bright, and it literally looked like a UFO. It's absolutely fascinating. It's really, really, really amazing. So, but my camera, I've got a Hawaii P20 Pro here phone. I've had it for a little while now. It's coming to the end of its life. My friend had a more or less a brand new iPhone 12, and he managed to zoom in on this planet, and it looked absolutely amazing. Will you shut up and talk about politics? California Republic. We can talk about politics. I'm not quite sure who you want to win. California Republic. Let me know who you want to win the election. Obviously, I don't want to guess and offend you in any way. Politics is a bit of a touchy subject, but yes, there's a lot of politics going on right now in the world. Honestly, I thought last night, I was working overnight, and I thought that Donald Trump was clearly going to win. He was bookie's favorite in any sort of betting, and absolutely crazy. Biden seems to have turned it all around. So yeah, that's I don't know what is going on in America right now. Geez, finally, Trump 2020. I hate to say it, California Republic, I'm kind of with you. I'm kind of with you, man. And you know, I know Trump. He gets a lot of bad press, but I think honestly, yeah, I kind of want Trump to get back in. I think he's the only person who can secure some sort of stability within your country. So yeah, I'd definitely say Trump. California Republic, I'm going to ask you a big favor, my friend. Is it possible to share this onto your Facebook and see if we can get a few more people off there? A couple of people from the States. I don't mind if they want to talk about politics. You want to sort of ask some questions or anything like that. I'm happy to answer. But I'd appreciate anybody just sharing this out there. A couple of groups, maybe two groups each, into your actual profiles, just to help me out a little bit. That would be much appreciated. Let's get some other facts, shall we? So, the smell of fresh cut grass comes from the chemicals plants release when in distress. So apparently, the smell of fresh cut grass is an actual chemical released by the grass when it's in distress, which I find is absolutely crazy. I didn't know that grass could be in distress, but obviously it's being cut, it is living, otherwise it wouldn't be growing, and it's being killed. So yeah, if anybody likes the smell of fresh cut grass, it is a real thing. Personally, it sets my hay fever off. I get really bad hay fever, really like snuffly nose. My eyes absolutely cane, they really itch, and yeah, I'm not very good with like fresh cut grass. I love the smell; it's fantastic, but it's no good for my eyes. So yeah, I'm not a fan of it. What do you guys personally think about the smell of fresh cut grass? Do you like it? Let me know in the comments, and I'll read them out in a sec. Let's have a little look then. So there's another fact here. Now I can't spell this, but I'm gonna have a go. All right, it's a very long word. Bear with me, and I'm sorry if I spell it wrong. Now it's flocky null sine hilipification. One of the longest words in the English language. It's the act of estimating that something is worthless. So I think we're all guilty of flocky null sine hilipilification. I I don't know how you say that in one word, but apparently estimating how worthless something is, I guess we all make sort of subtle judgments about things and people, so we're all guilty of that flocky word. Um, yeah, let's get on to another fact, shall we? Okay, now apparently there's a basketball court above the Supreme Court. It's known as the highest court in the land. So there is a basketball court above the Supreme Court. I take it that's in the United States of America, but a very, very, very high basketball court. I find that quite fascinating, actually. Quite keen. Yes, let's have a look at that, shall we? I'm just going to see if I can share this, get a couple more people on here. Bear with me, guys. I can't access. Oh, we're down to one. I'm really sorry about this, matey. Whoever you are. Supertick, is that you by any chance? Are you still there, Supertick? Okay. Sphenopalatine ganglion neuralgia is the medical term for brain freeze. So it's sphenopalatine ganglion neuralgia is the medical term for brain freeze. Now, it's quite a long word to use. I would personally rather use just brain freeze. I don't know if any of you have actually attempted to eat an ice cream whole, but it really does hurt. It seriously, seriously hurts your head. So I, again, wouldn't recommend doing that in any way, shape, or form. Okay, next fact is one about the Super Bowl, and apparently referees get Super Bowl rings too. which, if any of you have never seen what a super ring looks like, it's that. That's a super ring. That's a Super Bowl ring, and the referees get them as well, which I find is quite interesting. Yes, I'm going to just a quick second. Bear with me, guys. I'm just writing something in the comments. Just writing comments. Bear with me. Yes, guys, we are needing some more people on this facts chat. Yes, let's get some more people. I don't suppose whoever's watching this now, whereabouts are you in the world? Just curious, kind of keen to just see who is actually following TUBETASTIC Facts at the minute. Doing a bit of research with my fans. Whereabouts are you from, fella? Okay, now apparently there are 293 ways to make change for US dollar. 293 possible combinations and ways of making change for a US dollar. That's quite crazy, really. I'm not quite sure how that would work. I certainly wouldn't want to spend all that time trying to do it. I'm sure there's similar number of ways of doing that with almost all currency, if you think about it. The British pound, the euro. There must be more than so many, similar ways of combining that to make a dollar. Now, the next one is, according to a 2017 survey, whatever tops the list of words Americans find most annoying for the 9th year in a row. Whatever. So that's annoying. If you're talking to somebody, you're trying to make a point, or just to have a normal conversation with somebody, and they just chuck that out, whatever. It's like, it really does annoy you. And it clearly annoys Americans. So, yes, that is the most annoying word apparently in America at the minute, is whatever. Now this is one for a linguistics one, about the English language. So a contronym, and I don't know this, by the way, a contronym is a word that that's its own opposite. Sorry. So a contronym is a word that's its own opposite. For example, if you seed the lawn, you add seeds, but if you seed a tomato, you remove them. So it's effectively the same meaning of, yeah, it's the opposite meaning. I think that's quite bizarre, personally. Yeah, okay, let's have a look at this. A British man changed his name to Tim Price, okay, except he had, in a region, I'd say over 10 P's in his name. A British man changed his name to Tim Price to make it harder for telemarketers to pronounce. I would just personally look at his name, and I would still see Price. I would not call him Tim Price, like I had some sort of a speech impediment, it sounds like, which is not very nice, but bizarre. I'm not quite sure what's going on about it. Now, unconsciously, native English speakers say adjectives preceding nouns in a specific order: opinion, size, age, shape, color, origin, material, and purpose. It's why saying old green metal chairs sounds normal, but metal green old chairs sounds weird. Interesting. Bit of a difficult one. The oldest customer complaint. Okay, so this is one for all the sort of the Karen type people in the world. The oldest customer complaint dates back to ancient Mesopotamia, in the nearly 4,000-year-old cuneiform tablet. A customer claims he was sold inferior copper ingots. So somebody in ancient Mesopotamia, in 4,000 years old, complained of receiving inferior copper ingots. Anyway, that's a wrap, guys. That's all the facts we have time for tonight. We're going to do another one of these. Hopefully we get some more people next time. It's our first ever one, so I'm going to cut myself a little bit of slack. Oh, actually, yeah, all right. It's interesting. Raphael Green, what did I vote? I'm not American, Raphael. I'm English, so I haven't actually voted. I'm not too sure who I would have picked. Hard for me to say because obviously I'm English, and if you want to talk about Brexit, I voted for Brexit, for Britain to leave the EU. Could I just flip that back onto you and say, Raphael Green, what did you vote? Obviously, if you're in America, do you mind me asking? Have you read all the Harry Potter books? I've seen most of the movies. I haven't read all the books. I'm not a massive reader of fiction, Raphael. I read more non-fiction, information books, fact books, nature documentaries, that sort of thing. I'm more non-fiction as opposed to fiction. How about you? Have you read all the Harry Potter books yourself? Let me know in the comments. And also, what is your preference in the vote? You did. That's good. Yeah. I mean, what did you make of the books personally? What did you think of them? Because obviously in Britain here, I'm not American as well. I'm from Israel. Oh, that's ideal. Raphael. That's pretty cool. Yeah, long way away. And yeah, Raphael, I've got a question for you. Now, I did a video yesterday. You'll find it on my YouTube page, actually. There's a playlist called Let's Talk Facts. And on there was a video, this episode 2, and I talk about apparently in Israel, it's illegal to take bears to the beach. You can actually be fined and imprisoned for taking bears to the beach. Did you know that fact? Because I thought that's quite cool. And seeing as you're from Israel, it actually it's kind of cool for me to talk to you about that. I didn't know if you know that. Are there bears in Israel? Bears, as in big bears, claws, big teeth, bears, like grizzly bears, brown bears, bears that live in the woods. Apparently in Israel, it's illegal to take bears to the beach. And I personally didn't know there were bears in Israel or why they would make that fact. But check it out yourself. Bears on the beach in Israel, illegal. Can't do it. Again, I didn't know about this, but yeah, let me know what you think about that. I think there are no bears in Israel. I thought that too. See, I thought that there would be bears would not be in that sort of area. I think Turkey. There are sort of possibly bears. I'm not sure. There might be bears in Turkey in the more rural forest regions of Turkey, but I'm not sure about. I wouldn't have thought there were bears in Israel. What animals do you have? I go to the beach quite often and never saw bears there. I don't think you probably see any, Raphael, because apparently, like I say, it's illegal. You can get into trouble, and yeah, it's not something I would recommend anybody doing if they had a pet bear. Keep it in the garden. Another quick question, Raphael. What was I going to say? Was what would you say? Are there any dangerous animals that live in Israel? You have cats, fox, and dogs. just more or less the animals you would expect to see in most foreign countries, isn't it? So, foxes, dogs, and cats are quite common. I take it there's probably a lot of stray dogs and cats in Israel as well. We don't really have so many stray animals here in the UK. It's mostly just, I'd say it's mostly, we have got the occasional stray cat. You have jackals. Wow, that's pretty cool, man. That's a pretty decent thing. I've never seen a jackal. I wouldn't be able to kind of describe what they look like or how they behave, but it's interesting. Um, Raphael, I'm going to ask you a favor, my friend. Is it possible we also have boars in the streets in the north? Wow, that's pretty amazing, actually. It's pretty amazing. Raphael, I'm going to ask you a favor, my friend. I'm not sure who else is watching the video. I've obviously got you watching for a little bit, and we're having a chat, which is quite nice. Is it possible just to share this to your social media, Raphael? I've tried to share it on mine for some reason. The link is glitching a little bit. I tried to share it to my Facebook, and the link is very glitchy. I just want to see if I can boost the numbers a little bit, at least like above 10 or 20 or something like that. Just try and up the numbers a little bit. If you could share this for me, that would be very much appreciated. The more people we get, I can do a lot better with the facts, and we can have a bit more of a debate, which would be interesting. Obviously, I want you guys to have a debate within the comments as well. That's really what I want. And just, I don't use much social media. Just came to searching random YouTube videos. Man, well, you found me. That's pretty cool. I'm quite surprised you honestly found me. To be honest, it's pretty cool. But yeah, no, obviously, my channel is just all about facts. There's nothing really else on there other than facts. Obviously, this video, I'm talking about all sorts of things, just any sort of topics, even facts that are coming up in just pure conversation. I'm learning things about all types of facts. Raphael, we're talking facts about the human body, facts about nature, facts about animals, facts about people, celebrities, space, the sea, any sort of fact. I will give my viewers what they want to watch. If you want to see facts about anything, I'll do a live stream on it. If I have enough people, what would I consider a fact? I would consider a fact something that has been proven. I don't discuss. I don't discuss. I don't consider speculation as facts. You cannot be 100% sure about anything. That's true. Now, obviously, I am trying to give the. How can I explain this? I'm trying to give the most honest facts as I possibly can. But yes, like anything, everything can be proven wrong. There is no such thing really as 100% fact, other than you're going to die. We're born, you're going to die. I'm going to die. We're all going to die. There are things like that. It's not even a given fact that tomorrow is going to be daylight. We expect that just because it's been daylight for the last so many years of our life, and that we're actually going to wake up tomorrow. It's not even a given fact that we're going to wake up tomorrow or that it's going to be daylight. It could be a 30-day long eclipse. None of us predicted that this coronavirus pandemic was going to happen, yet it has. And I think that's the point I'm trying to make. It's nothing is guaranteed, Raphael. I'm not 100%. I'm not 100% sure of anything. I trust that the facts that I'm reading are from reputable enough sources that they are more or less accurate. But again, I can't be 100% sure that everything is 100% guaranteed. That's true, Raphael. I'll be honest about that. So I'm not hiding that. But I do share facts. So it's some. This is why I want, I want to get more people on here so that if I share a fact and somebody has a counter fact or something that is, for example, like I want to get some debate going about these facts. I want to see what people think about them and basically just test them and really just see what people think about them. You know, let's get to another fact now anyway, because I've got quite a few. Which reputable sources are you using? There's a couple on Google. I literally just I flip from one to the other. There's there's a few different websites. I would consider them. I wouldn't necessarily consider them my competitors, but they are more or less on Google. If you type in sort of random facts and stuff like that. Do you consider Wikipedia as a reputable source? No, absolutely not. I believe that Wikipedia is edited. It can be edited by absolutely anyone, and lots of people tamper with it. Um, I do use it sometimes for myself. You know, if I wanted to ask or find out about a particular subject, I'm not saying that I've never used it in the past. I'm completely against it. I do like Wikipedia, but I wouldn't use it as the basis of a factual video like the ones that I've made about, for example, drug cartels. I did quite a lot of extensive research on that. Also about animals and dogs, the videos that I've done in my It's a Matter of Facts playlist. All of the research on that was very extensive. It took me quite a long time to actually come up with a script for that. But its page is being reviewed all the time by many people. Yeah, that's true. That's true. I suppose yeah, you're right there. It is, Raphael. It's definitely being edited by lots of people. It's good to have more than one kind of angle on something. And like I said, I've just learned something now, a fact about Israel that you've got jackals in Israel, and it's mostly just sort of cats, dogs, and also there's no bears. So while I did a fact yesterday and I wasn't 100, or the other day, and I wasn't 100% certain about bears in Israel, you've now clarified that for me more or less. I'll listen a little bit to what you said and acknowledge that as a sort of again not 100% certain with anything, but I do believe a lot of what you said purely because you live there. So yeah. So yeah, you just said obviously. I think it's a very good source of information. Yeah, it is. It is definitely. I agree with you. It's got some good stuff. Um, I'm not a bear expert. I really don't know much about that topic. I'm sure you would see bears roaming around Israel, though, wouldn't you? And you'd know about it. Um, so let's have another look at some more facts, shall we? So, trying to find another fact. Um, Bear with me a second, guys. Okay, so the average taste bud lives only 10 days before it dies and is replaced by a new one. So I don't know if you guys knew that, but obviously we all have taste buds in our mouth, on our tongue, on, under, and around our tongue, all coated back to front of our tongue. Our tongue has a lot of taste buds. That's what enables us to actually taste our food, and it sends taste receptor signals to our brain, telling our brain that our food tastes the way that it does. It is very much the property of the food that we eat, we put into our mouth, that then sends a chemical signal to our brain telling us that we are eating chocolate, that we are eating a packet of crisps or chips, or drinking a certain drink like Coke. Our taste buds are the receptors that are allowing our brain to process us to know what a food tastes like. It's not just we put it in our mouth and it tastes like that. It's a very my accent is British, Raphael. I live in Great Britain. I live in England. I live in England. I was born in London, and I now live in the southwest of England. So yeah, I was born in London back in 1989. So yep, I'm a British citizen, and quite proud. But I've got a lot of other nationalities in my blood. I've got some Scottish, some Irish. I've got some, you know, do you know Hebrew? I don't know. I don't know. Yes, you speak Hebrew. Oh, do you know Hebrew? I don't know any Hebrew personally, but all of my videos are translated into Hebrew. If you prefer to watch any of my videos in sort of caption format, and you want to have captions running along the bottom here, look at all my videos. Most of them have Hebrew as an option. So if you get tired of listening to my British accent and you want to just sort of read in your native language, Raphael, you can do so. I always include Hebrew as a language. It's a very, very popular, common language. Do you know any other languages, Raphael? Because you speak pretty good English, if you don't mind me saying. Your English is pretty decent. Most of the time, the translation is not accurate. No, I agree. You put a video up on YouTube, and it does just it completely scrambles your words, mixes them up. It's never going to be 100% accurate. It's a bit of a pain, to be quite honest. I just don't have the time really to be editing all the words. I kind of I let it go and into free reign really, and just let it do. Let my YouTube do what it wants. It's yeah, it's a bit of a funny one. I've got another fact for you guys. I don't know if you like football, but apparently Manchester United are losing 1-0 to Istanbul in the Champions League, which is quite an interesting fact. I don't know if you guys like football, but yeah, Manchester United are losing 1-0 now to Istanbul. Now, okay, another interesting fact about babies now is that research has indicated that babies who suck on dummies or pacifiers are more prone to earaches. Now, I didn't know that. Babies could be affected in the hearing by having dummies in the mouth, but apparently I can. Yeah, that is a fact. I can't really see how that happens, but let's see what else we got. Okay, another one is do you transcript your videos? Um, Good question. I no, YouTube automatically generates a transcript for my videos in English based on what I'm saying. So everything here more or less will be transcripted into English, and then I close caption. I use a service to provide closed captions. I've got a friend that can do that for me. So yeah, all my videos are translated into multiple languages, and that's that really. It's pretty good. So Australia's Great Barrier Reef is 1,250 miles long apparently, which is quite a long way. Um, Australia's Great Barrier Reef. Now I don't know about you guys, but yes, you do, Raphael. You need to speak very clearly, or it just picks up muffly words. I could probably do by myself a much better microphone. How can you guys actually hear me okay on this? Because I've got I've got a obviously a laptop in front of me I'm using at the minute, and again I'm not watching the stream. I don't quite know. Right. The audio quality. It's not so good. I'm going to get myself a proper webcam, guys. I'm going to get myself a proper webcam instead of using this one with a decent microphone, and that will allow me to do these videos a lot better in the future. So yes, I will get myself an HD 1080p webcam, and I'm going to do some more of these with a better quality webcam, better quality audio as well. I'm going to do a couple more facts, guys. So apparently Mel Gibson, the actor. What languages do I speak apart from English? A little bit of French. I can understand some words. A little bit of German, and I would say that's it. A little bit of French, a little bit of German, and a little bit of Spanish, but only from school. Nothing perfect. You know, I've been to Turkey, and I was speaking Turkish over there for a little bit. But obviously, English is my main accent. I would love to learn fluent German and French and Spanish, but it's quite hard. There are words, yes, there are words in English that came from French, like genre. Yeah, déjà vu is another one. Raphael, déjà vu is another word. Um, I can think of there's probably a lot more words that come from Latin and Greek and also French. Definitely, there's a lot of Germanic words in the English language, a lot of Norse words, so Scandinavian. Um, the English language is one of the hardest languages to learn if you can speak it or write it and you have good grammar, which Raphael, I must say, you have very good grammar. You are very, very, very blessed to be able to speak our language because it is very common. It's used all over the world. And I must say, you speak very good English. And I bet your Hebrew is probably just as good. So, yeah, fair play to you, Raphael. Yeah, you're doing amazing. Honestly, your language is absolutely fantastic. I would probably have first said that you would have been like English. I would have put you down as another British person. Quite honestly, for the way that you speak English, you've got a very, very, very good English grammar. You know, your words are all perfectly written. Your sentences are well formed. Um, Keep it going, man. Keep it going. Keep watching videos like this where you're speaking to English people, because you're doing amazing. You know, you're making such good progress. So yeah, keep that going, man. Let's get another fact. So apparently, Mel Gibson has a horseshoe kidney, which is basically two kidneys fused into one. So Mel Gibson, the actor, was in what films was Mel Gibson in? Braveheart, Patriot, you know, Lethal Weapon? Um, he was in loads of films. Mel Gibson, Signs with Joaquin Phoenix. He was in so many films. Mel Gibson, and he obviously I don't know if you've ever seen The Passion of Christ, Raphael. He was the director for The Passion of Christ as well. Mel Gibson. So he's got a horseshoe kidney, which basically means that his kidney goes like that in a sort of a funny shape. Two kidneys joined into one, which I can imagine would be quite uncomfortable if you, you know, got punched in it or something. Getting punched in both kidneys at the same time would kind of hurt if you were in a boxing match or something. Um, from the age of 30, which I'm 31, so this applies to me. I don't know about you, Raphael, but apparently from the age of 30, humans gradually begin to shrink in size. Well, guess what? I've just started my decline of shrinking now. It seems like my children are getting bigger and I'm getting smaller. But yes, little people, old people tend to get more smaller. And I know that because I'm constantly around old people in you know what I do outside of my YouTube, and yeah, a lot of them are very small. Some are actually quite tall, but yeah, it's we all get smaller, guys. So let's have a look. Um, in ancient England, a person could not have sex unless you had consent of the king. So apparently, in ancient England, you needed consent from the king in order to make love with your wife or anyone for that matter. You needed the king's consent to have sex in ancient England. Now, that's crazy. Obviously, now you wouldn't be asking for anyone's permission because it is a liberty that we all have, and we're well within our means to do so. Obviously, I am personally I'm a Christian, so I don't believe in sex before marriage. Um, Not everybody has that view, though. Obviously, uh, yeah, it's too common in the world today. Now, a baboon called Jackie became a private in the South African Army in World War One. So, in World War One, the South African Army had a baboon called Jackie fighting within their ranks, and it actually was given the rank of private. A baboon called Jackie. It's common among religious people. Um, am I afraid of getting old? Um, no, I'm not afraid of getting old. Like I said, I'm a Christian, so I'm definitely not afraid of getting old. I'm not afraid of aging. It just makes me more experienced. Um, yes, it's common among religious people. Sex before marriage, it's becoming far more common. It doesn't necessarily mean that being a Christian or a Muslim or a Jew or anything like that. There are still Jews, Christians, and Muslims that have sex before marriage, and it is very much frowned upon, but it happens, unfortunately. It happens, and too many people are doing it. It's not good. But yes, you would have needed the king's consent in order to have sex before marriage, or sex of any kind back in those days. Now, 1 out of 20 people have an extra rib. Another fact. I didn't know that. 1 out of every 20 people has an extra rib. I'm not too sure 100% how many ribs we all actually have, but apparently 1 in 20 will have one more rib, which I can't see how that would work. Maybe it's like fused to another rib, or are you going to have one rib? Surely you would feel if you had that extra rib, wouldn't you? If you can feel in your sort of chest cavity. Um, where is this extra rib located? On your chest, uh, Raphael. I don't know. It doesn't. This fact does not say where this extra rib is located. I'm trying to figure out whether it's the top here, or the middle, or the bottom. It doesn't actually say. It just says 1 in 20 people have an extra rib. So if your workplace has, let's say, 50 people, there is a very good chance that somebody in your workplace is going to have an extra rib, which I find is quite strange. Um, Now, this is one for all of you guys out there that are scared of this whole virus, the coronavirus. It's out there now. It's definitely traveling here. You know, my country, Britain, we've announced another lockdown now, where we're going to be going back into a further lockdown for a month, the whole of November. As of tomorrow, we're going into a month-long lockdown, and everybody is absolutely scared out of their wits. Um, Now, apparently, if you needed a reason to wear a face mask to stop this virus from spreading, it would be this fact here. Now, a sneeze travels out of your mouth at approximately 100 miles per hour. That's a sneeze. The droplets that come out of your mouth and your nose travels at approximately 100 miles an hour. Now, please tell me, if somebody were to sneeze in your face at close distance and they were COVID positive, would you be able to react faster than 100 miles an hour to avoid one droplet, single droplet, from going into your eye or your mouth or your entering your nose or your just landing on you? Would you be quick enough to dodge that? Um, it basically is projectile. It's a projectile virus. It's transmitted through touch, through sneezing, through coughing. But a sneeze is very fast. Don't underestimate, um, estimated occurrence. So a sneeze travels out of your mouth at over 100 miles per hour is what the fact is, Raphael, not on there. Um, it is now possible to print human skin with an inkjet printer. That's quite a bizarre one as well. So you can actually print human skin with an inkjet printer. Now, the only thing that I think this would be handy for is for people that need skin grafts. Let's say if somebody has fallen off a motorbike and they've lost all of the skin on their leg, which can happen if they rub across the ground in excess of 150 miles an hour or something like that, and they're not wearing leathers. Skin grafts are very much needed. I know that most skin grafts, they take the skin off of their back and then put it onto the affected area of skin. It needs to then be properly adopted by the body. It needs to be accepted. If the skin is rejected, it will basically turn black and go rotten, and there is a risk of blood poisoning, a sepsis, infection, stuff like that. So the skin normally comes off of either the other leg or the back. Okay, that's fine. So, running a bit too fast, right there. So, that particular fact there is, let's get to this one. Yeah, so you can print human skin with an inkjet printer. What do you guys watching now personally think about that? I am quite amazed by that fact, actually. Like I said, it would be useful for somebody. Probably hospitals could do with that, really. Lots of people need skin grafts. Sometimes the skin isn't available, particularly in burns victims and stuff like that, if they need a skin graft. Skin is something that's not always readily available for people now. And yeah, I would honestly say it's quite an expensive piece of kit. Yeah, 3D printing human skin, Raphael. Apparently, there's a 3D printer that can print human skin. So if you lost the skin here, you could have it printed out and reapplied to basically your hand. There's a 3D printer that prints human skin. Now I'm not sure. They probably use I would imagine a combination of proteins and sort of like fibrous material that is found on the surface of the skin. I'm not quite sure how you would go about the process of actually making human skin, but it's quite fascinating to actually know that. Yeah, from which material? Again, it doesn't say that. It just says, let's have a little look. I'm going to look this up now. Let's have a little look. So, bear with me a second, guys. I'm just going to find that. Okay, so it says, a 3D bioprinter to print human skin. Now, yes, it's saying here. Yeah, there is actually a robot skin 3D printer close to first in-human clinical trials, and that was August 28th, 2020. Listec 3D printing, bioprinting, science and technology. Yeah, it's a thing, guys. It's a thing. It's an actual thing. Is from which material? Again, I don't know what the material would be, Raphael. I'm kind of sure that it would be some sort of protein material, some sort of protein. But definitely, the skin is being printed in various shapes and forms, thickness. I would imagine the thickness, the density, the stretchiness. Some skin is thicker than other skin. So, for example, skin on our some people have really hard skin on the hands. Some have really soft. It depends where the area of your body is, but most of us have different skin densities around the body. My skin's pretty good on my hands, but not so much on the bottom of my feet. It's actually quite soft and thin. So I suppose if they have the ability to toggle um, the, um, the various variables for printing skin, so the thickness, the density, the size, the shape, etc., etc. So quite a cool fact. Now, if it's all right with you guys, I'm just going to move on to the next one quickly. Yeah, I like this one. Now, obviously, many of you will, both of you guys watching here now will, you'll live in an area where there's, your street has probably got a name. My street has definitely got a name here in the southwest of England. It's more, even the houses opposite me have got a name. Now, apparently, houses in Japan or streets in Japan do not have names. So again, I've never been to Japan. I don't know how people actually navigate. Maybe coded or something like that. But that's something that I didn't know. The streets in Japan have no names. So yeah, if ever you go to Japan, or if maybe you've been to Japan on holiday, and maybe you could verify this for me. But again, yeah, Japanese streets have no names. I'm not sure how you're going to find your way around in Japan, but it's a very big place, and I would love to go for the sushi. I love my sushi, guys. It's one of my favorite things. Um, but yes, Japan is definitely an interesting country. It's got a lot of history. Sounds interesting. Do they have addresses for their homes? Yes, Raphael, I imagine they have addresses for their homes, but in terms of the actual streets themselves, no, they don't. The roads have no names, but I'd imagine they have some sort of a zip code, possibly. I'm just trying to think. How does Amazon, let's say, deliver, or eBay deliver to, or to a mailman, the postman, or whatever you want to call him, the mail person? How does the mail person deliver mail to your house if you live in Japan and you don't have a street name? There must be a way. But yes, there's. I largely put this fact down to culture in the basis that they're very, very, very different countries, different cultures. It's very much Eastern culture versus Western culture. Japan is like not in Earth. Yes, it's a very, very, very funky place. I love the way they cook. I do love Japan. I love the way they cook their fish. I love sushi. I love sashimi. I would love to go to a sushi restaurant when everything opens back up again. The people are very eccentric. One thing I've noticed, they love things like Comic Con and anime and all of the sort of dancing and fun and just partying. Very hard-working people. Um, they also have they have a variety of food machines in the streets. One thing I've noticed about Japan, they have all of these different flavors of Kit Kat. I think there's about 15, 20 different flavors of Kit Kat. They've also got noodle vending machines, ramen noodles on the streets where they've got real chicken in them, pork, um, real meals, basically, hot water that comes out the vending machine and makes you a lovely noodle dish or some nice soup, drinks. They've got all sorts of different types of drinks, I think it's not sake. They've got an aniseed alcohol that's made in a similar way to Zambuca as well. They've got massive importers of fish and tuna, very healthy diet. But again, it's somewhere that I would love to go in my lifetime. Never been there before, but I really, really, really would like to go to Japan. Anyway, so that's quite an interesting fact. Now, this last one is I'm gonna make this the last one, guys, and I'm gonna call it a night. We'll maybe do another one tomorrow. But this one here is one that you probably will know if you're a fan of animals in the animal kingdom. So I did say to Raphael, I'm going to talk about facts. If you've ever seen ants in the wild picking up objects, leaves, yes, it is. That's quite interesting, Raphael. It's cool to know that. I really appreciate you putting that. Now, basically, ants can lift 10 times their own body weight. So they have the ability to pick up objects 10 times heavier than them. Now, I've often seen ants actually walking with objects that look much bigger than themselves, particularly the worker ants. And I've always found, um, what did I hear? What about fire ants, Raphael? Please enlighten me. I would like to. I would like to know. I do know about the fire ants. They're quite. Yeah, they've got a nasty bite. Same with a bullet ant. The bullet ant has one of the most painful stings or bites out of all of the insects you can possibly think of. There's